Welcome to Thinkin, a podcast series by Kautilya School of Public Policy.
Namaste. We are honored to have Mr. Ram Madhav among us. Mr. Ram Madhav is member of RSS, a former senior member of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the president of a think tank, India Foundation. We are welcome to host you today, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us this time so that we can interview you. My first question for you will be that there is a very little that we normally know about the members of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. So could you share a little bit more about your personal life and your motivation to join the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and later BJP?
So it is very difficult to understand RSS and very easy to misunderstand it. So many times people get misinformed and carried away by what they find in media and elsewhere. But to put it very simply, the RSS is an organization of good people. When I say good people, people who love their country, who love their culture, who want everybody in the country to be united, prosper, and also nurture our great tradition, our dharma, our religion, our culture. So RSS works only for that cause. It's not even an organization. There is no formal membership in it. Anybody can walk in and understand what RSS wants to teach. So I joined attracted by these issues. I always had a lot of interest in geopolitics of the country. So patriotism, love for our culture, love for our dharma, those became very attractive to me. Not just me, many millions of youngsters like me get attracted to RSS at a very young age, essentially because of these qualities like good patriotic songs, good teaching about our religion, our culture, our spirituality. Those things attract us. Such things attracted me also, and I went deep into those things as a member or a non-member member rather of the RSS. And I continue to remain an activist of it. I rose in hierarchy, I became a full-time activist, and I am right now in the national team of the RSS.
A follow-up question on that, sir. Is RSS vision different from BJP? And if so, how?
RSS is like a mothership. Whatever vision the RSS has got, I talked about it earlier, that is imbibed by many of us. I mean, millions of our citizens of our country. They went into different fields. So most of the members in BJP today are inspired by that thought process of the RSS. So on core issues, yes, whether you are in RSS or in BJP, the love of the country, love of our culture, love of the unity of our country, prosperity of the country, on all those issues we have same ideas, we share same ideas. But organizationally, BJP is different. BJP is a political party. RSS has nothing to do with day-to-day politics. RSS is for cultural and social revival of our country. Organizationally, these two are very different.
Sir, my next question is, normally RSS is associated with the philosophy of Hindutva, and you said that it is very easy to misunderstand the RSS. In your book, The Hindutva Paradigm, you have delved deeply on the philosophy of the integral humanism. Could you little bit more elaborate on that fact?
So Hindutva is not any separate ideology. In fact, honestly speaking, this very word Hindutva was not coined by us. It was coined by the critics of RSS who said Hinduism or Hinduness, Hinduism is different and Hindutva is different. For us in RSS, they are not two different things. Whatever we do or whatever we think or whatever we articulate is about the greatness of our dharma, which is Hindu dharma, Hinduism. So RSS philosophy is not any new ideology, but all those great ideas that this country has given to the mankind over say 5 millennia, which we generally call as Hinduism, or sometimes we call as dharma, Sanatana dharma. We use different words. For example, the idea that everything is sacred, so we should always respect everything, nature, fellow human beings, institutions, your rivers, your trees, everything is sacred. That is Hinduism. That is what Hindutva also. So certain core ideas of Hindu dharma, we are committed to bringing them into actual life of our people, the Hindu people. That sometimes people call as Hindutva, but Hindutva is not any different ideology from that of Hindu dharma or Hinduness or Hinduism.
Any questions?
So, as you mentioned, sir, like you have been with the RSS and then with the BJP as well. So, just to ask you, like, what would you prefer more and why?
In both places, as I said, we work with the same inspiration. The inspiration is we should see this country rising in its stature, getting stronger, prosperous. That's the whole idea wherever we work. Political party in which I worked, the BJP, in which I worked for 6 years, has given me a much different experience, much greater exposure. I've been able to reach out to all corners of the country, also all corners of the world, where I've been able to interact with many leaders in the world. So that has given me a totally different exposure. That has helped me in understanding how to make necessary amendments to our own functioning also, even for the RSS, even for the Hindutva movement. In the contemporary world, in a new world order that we are living in today, how do we present these ideas? How do we take forward this this organization, this school of thought? My activity in BJP has helped giving me a lot of understanding about it. In that sense, I consider it as a very rich experience for me. But whatever organizations decide, I work there. Today I am in the RSS.
Sir, apart from your political role, you also had something called India Foundation. And normally we see a lot of criticism in the Western media outlets against not just BJP but the RSS and the Hindutva philosophy. So why do you think that there is this gap or miscommunication? So does it exist from their point of view, or does it exist because the RSS is not communicating what they stand for?
Both ways. Firstly, you must remember that certain sections of the Western intelligentsia, whom you find in Western think tanks, Western media, etc., have a very peculiar superiority complex. They think that their understanding or their thought process is the only universal thought process. If somebody stands up and say that maybe your thought process is okay for your country, for my country I will have my own institutions, my own thought process, they can't tolerate it. Now RSS essentially stands up for very own indigenous school of thought, indigenous institutions, indigenous ideas in our country. So sometimes out of intolerance for this rejection of their school of thought and articulation of different school of thought by RSS and allied organizations, they criticize us. In criticism, many times they are unjust because they don't have a real understanding of RSS. They have not understood RSS correctly. So they make lots of wrong criticism. That's why I said it's easy to misunderstand sometimes organizations like RSS out of misunderstanding, or sometimes out of that deliberate sense of superiority, sense of arrogance, they try to attack us. But yes, I take your point. A 10% reason is probably we have to now improve our articulation. We are living in a different kind of world today. That world wants to understand us from a different reference point, a different prism. So we should be able to explain or present ourselves from the prism that the world understands today. There, I will give 10% reason for this kind of misunderstanding in the world, and we have to improve on that.
So what's one thing that you really admire about the RSS but you might want to change that thing in BJP? RSS
runs like a family. RSS is quintessential Hindu joint family. It is all about understanding each other's sensitivities, giving scope for everyone to function to his fullest. With his own likings and dislikings, he can work to the fullest of his capacity. That kind of atmosphere in which RSS operates. RSS doesn't work like a rigid organization. It's a very open, very flexible, very Catholic type of, inclusive type of organization. But BJP is a political party, it has its own characteristics, it has its own structure. It works on its own on its own structure, on its own principles. So, certain aspects like BJP's, like RSS, of course, school of thought, the principles of RSS that have to be always there in BJP, but also the very familial type of functioning that RSS has always developed in all its institutions, that we want to see in BJP also at all levels. The BJP also should function like a family. So many places that effort also happens, that should increase. It's not easy in politics. Politics is all about competition. Politics is all about rivalry. But even within that competition rivalry, there should be efforts to create an atmosphere of one family.
You have been the National General Secretary of BJP, and next year we have the Lok Sabha elections. So how do you think the BJP will fare this time, and does the opposition can be a challenge to BJP?
Last 10 years of Prime Minister Modi's governance has done so much to country in all respects. I would categorize 4 things. In terms of country's unity, in terms of country's prosperity, in terms of country's security, and in terms of country's dignity and honor globally. On all these 4 counts, last 10 years have been most successful in the entire history of our independence. So why should people want something else when everything is going so good, and you have a leader of stature who commands respect globally, who is bringing respect to the whole country? Economically we are doing well. Country's security situation is much stronger than what it used to be in the past. Why should we now reject such a government? I think people of India are wise enough not to look for any greener pastures elsewhere. The greener pastures are very much there here today for them, and I am very confident that this government will in fact not only have another 5 years, but will have an increased support from the people, increased number of parliament members and all that. I am quite confident about it, because simple point is, there is no reason for an average Indian to reject this government. There is no reason. There is no alternative also.
Sir, since you are very confident about a BJP victory next year, my last question for you will be that in 2025 RSS will be celebrating its centenary, and this government has set out Amrit Kal goal for the country for the next 25 years. Since a Pracharak is now the Prime Minister of the country, which are the goals that you would like, or the RSS would like the country to pursue, or as an organization which it has in mind for the country?
So we are also a part of that great gigantic vision for the Amrit Kal. Where should India reach in 2047, about which there is a vision that is articulated by the present government. The RSS fully supports that vision. Essentially, what is the core point of that vision? That you have to create a country in which the last man also leads a happy life, a contented life. The country is secure and it reaches its pinnacle of glory in the Committee of Nations in the world. That is the vision for the Amrit Kal. Happiness in the country, strong country towards which nobody can have any bad approach or bad attempts towards it. Finally, greatly respected country, greatly honored country, which in our own words call as Vishwa Guru. We are not talking about Vishwa Neta, not world leader. Vishwa Guru, who will be an inspiration, a motivation, a guidance, a lamp post for the entire humanity. That kind of country we have to create. We have everything to become something like that. We only needed proper direction, proper leadership. Fortunately, we have the direction, we have the leadership. So, this Amrit Kal towards which the country is moving, Sangha will be happy to be an integral part of it.
So, a last question, sir, from my side. Who do you see as the next Narendra Modi of BJP?
No, come on. We have our Narendra Modi ji as the Prime Minister. He will be there to come. It's like asking what will happen when my father dies. So nobody thinks that next prime minister, alert when you have a strong leader, strong prime minister, whole country likes him, whole country wants him. We know that he's the hugely popular leader today. So those questions are not relevant at this time. But having said it, I will only add one sentence. This movement has produced many good, committed leaders. So there will be a shrinkhala, a series of leaderships who will support Modi ji at all levels and make sure that this vision for Amrit Kal is realized in next 20 to 25 years. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for being here today. Thank you for sharing your opinion on a diverse range of issues. We look forward to more of these conversations and to a century of India's Amrit Kal. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.